Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. When you're tuned in, you're with Lady Business and Give It to the People Radio, where you're going to get enlightened, enhanced, empowered, and enriched. Make sure that you always tune in to Give It to the People Radio. I'm going to introduce somebody that is, to me, she's like so marvelous. And let me tell you why. Because she's so much like me. Like... It's just, you ever meet a person and you're just like, am I looking at my own self a little bit, but a little different? So Lashon Harley has just, and I'm going to give y'all the groundbreaking news if you don't know, I'm going to use the word retired. Is that okay? She said she left, she didn't retire. So she just left Durham Tech Small Business Center. She's been the director there for years. But guess what she's doing? Her own thing. Come on, give it up. Woo! All right. And so you know how you've been talking about you want to do something for a long time, and then you just wait till the right time? And COVID showed people that this was the right time to go ahead and get this money and do what you need to do. And she is a person that challenges me personally, professionally, but is also there as not just a mentor, but also a friend. And I think that that's rare because as an adult, do you find friends still? I think you find associates. I think you find acquaintances. But I don't necessarily think as an adult, especially after 40, that you really find friends. So not only that, but I get to, be able to talk to her about business, share ideas, collaborate. And I think that to me, she's definitely a person that the way that she does things definitely challenges me. So I want her to be able to challenge you guys today too. And then this will take us into our mentoring sessions. So put your hands together for the one, the only, Lashon Harley.
All right. I was told to get the third mic over here.
The third one, not this one? Oh.
This one? Okay. He must know me well because he said this one will allow you to move around. Oh. So they call me Lashon Harley. My father would say that's not my name. My name is Lashon Harley. My parents were in France and Belgium. They call me the igniting collaborator. I ignite you. I'm also, and Chisa was talking about being true to yourself. I don't like long-term engagements. I get bored very, very easily. So that's why I'm an igniting collaborator. I ignite people. I help people and organizations that are stuck to find the right pathway for them. And what I mean by that is there are pathways out there, but you got to find the right one for you. So being stuck means that you don't know where to start. Being stuck means that you're at crossroads. You don't know which way to choose that's best for you and for where you want to go. The next one is that you want clarification. You think you're going down the right way, but you're just not sure, so you want clarification. And then you want confirmation and affirmation. And there's a difference in people telling you what to do and people confirming and affirming what's told to you. Either people are going to tell you after you've figured it out or think you've thought it through, and they can come to confirm and affirm, or they tell you something you never thought about, and you're going to get it to confirm and affirm. No one will ever have your vision but you. Someone can steal your idea, but they can never steal your vision. You cannot, even when you think people, how many of you have all told your idea to people and you're like, oh, you got it. Then something came along and they said, oh, this will be great. And you go like, that has nothing to do with what I want to do. So that's what it's all about. So I have one thing in mind, and of course, I alter based upon, I take the temperature of the room. So I am still going to go through the presentation. Don't worry about having to write down a whole lot, because I'm going to be recapping what you should have already gotten, what you heard. Then we'll get to some parts for you to start writing. So I love the fact that Chisa and them, I said, I should have put trademark up there so I could start trademarking it for them. For the acronym CALM, clarify, align, learn, and manifest. Because that's what it's all about with you and your business. You need to stay calm. Yes, you're going to have stress, but stress is not bad unless you're using it in an improper way. So once you get clarification, start aligning along where you need to go to get where you want to get, and start learning what you need to learn, then you can start manifesting what you see. So I like the word calm that they have. So what's clarify? Because you've actually been getting this so far. It means to make simply clear and understandable. That was the introduction that you did of yourself. Were you clear? Could people understand you? So let me help you out with this, because I tell people with this, with pitching and things of that nature. Make the presumption you're talking to either third graders or eighth graders. Why do I say that? Why? So everybody's on the same page? I saw the hand in the back. Young lady, yes?
I was going to say because people learn, some people are in 8th grade level as far as education, how to speak to them.
Okay. The thing you have to remember, you're the subject matter expert in what you do. Everybody else is at a 3rd and 8th grade level at what you do. If I said to you all, if I made a pitch and I said, I want to work with resonant frequencies and I want to make sure that I put apparatus up in the sky that people can actually get to each other better and quicker and clearer, what am I talking about? I'm speaking the lingo of the industry. I'm talking about cell phones and cell phone towers. If I said amplified modulation and frequency modulation, what am I talking about? Your AM and FM radio, which one did you understand? But AM stands for amplified modulation. Those who are in engineering shortwave radio would know that. Those who understand with frequency modulations, they would know that. Our presumption is we believe that every adult understands what we're saying. And we talk about, well, speaking, that means speaking down to people. No, we take time to explain to 8th graders and 3rd graders, and we say to adults, well, I'm speaking in plain English. You should know what I'm talking about. No, I don't. And how many of you are in a profession where you have a board that you have to get certified with? It's very hard for you all, because you all have to say words that doesn't get you all in trouble with the board. Speak to us in plain English. Give me one of the boards somebody's with.
The NBCC, so the National Board for Clinical Counselors.
Okay, what's that?
Therapist board.
What's that?
Therapist for counselors.
Oh, what type of therapy? What you talking about? So you gonna be a shrink?
Basically.
Oh, for everybody?
For everybody.
Oh, okay. So now one of my friends, she would say, I do people who do trauma. If you've gone through traumatic experiences, that's who I deal with. I also deal with those who've been substance abuse recoverers. So do you want to deal with kids? It's not about what you can do. Is that what you want to do? You want to deal with adults?
Absolutely.
You want to deal with those who've been traumatized by, let's see, her trauma is the fact that her brother-in-law murdered her sister and her parents.
I still clients like that, yes, ma'am.
Now, it's not about who you seeing, it's what do you enjoy.
I do.
Okay, so tell me, what do you enjoy?
So my specialty is in trauma focus. It's in addictions counseling as well.
Okay.
And I enjoy working with kids. I'm a teacher by trade. And my favorite population to work with those who are on federal probation,
Why?
because I'm able to support them.
And what do you mean by federal probation?
Getting out of bed time. They just got
So you don't mind dealing with white-collar crime criminals?
I don't.
You don't? Don't what? You don't mind, or you don't want to deal with them?
Oh, I don't mind.
Okay, but is that who you want to deal with when you're talking about folks that are coming out of...
Ideal client, no. I've heard of work with
But see, notice you said, well, federal, everybody knows that, but when I mention a federal, and this is what I mean by we presume everybody knows what we mean. It's not, and I'm just using example. So the thing about it is that it's a very specific. It's not about what you can do. It's about who you want to do it with. Always remember this, the 80-20 rule. 80% of your money is coming from 20% of your customers. The problem is we run after the 80% of our customers that give us 20% of our money. Because see, a lot of those 80%ers are people who are coming to you because, oh, you're new. I'm going to just try you. You're my competition. I'm coming to see what you do. Oh, okay. What's the discount? Can I get a hookup? And they're always going to want a hookup. They're never going to take you back up. And guess what? You said word of mouth is how you want people to tell. Guess what they're going to say? Girl, I went to her, and she was $30. Well, when I called her, she said she was $50. Girl, just keep going to them. She'll give you to it for $30. And you wonder why everybody calling you for the $30 deal. They're the ones that go, most people I've known who've gone on this have stopped personally, that I've known, and I'm not saying other people are on it. Groupon, what are people on Groupon for? To pay less. They're not coming to pay more. So those are where those people are coming. Then you got the people that got the headache, the heartache, the hassle you. Why your stuff so expensive? I had a beautician that came to my business and when I was counseling, and she was not making money. I said, well, tell me the products you use. So she was using Design Essential, Mazzani, and she kept going on. I said, oh, okay, those are good products. She was charging $10 for a shampoo and set and $25 for a relaxer. Because she was trying to keep up with the folks who were keeping up with the Dominican shops. Well, see, I saw what kind of products they were using back there. They were not on the same level of the Mazzani and the Design Essentials. And in fact, I started looking around and started asking those who use those products, their shampoos were $25 to $30. Their relaxers were $40 to $75. So I showed her, you got a lot of clients, but you're a hobby, because every time they sit in your chair, you're paying them to be your client. That's what I'm talking about. 80% of the people, and then there are people who do not value you. They may have came to you because you were just available, you were around the corner, somebody mentioned you, but they don't value what you do. They don't see the value. They're the Walmart shopper, and I don't mean the Walmart shopper that they actually go into Walmart. Walmart is all about what? Low price. And a sidebar, anybody trying to get into Walmart, let me let you know, you do not tell Walmart how much your stuff is. Walmart says, I'll get that pallet for X number of dollars. Take it or leave it. That's how some of the people who come to you. Then there's some people who do value what you have, understand what you do, but they cannot afford you. I'm not trying to be harsh, but that's not your problem. That is not your problem. Now, you can figure out ways to get funds to pay you, but I'm sorry, it's not going to help you when the landlord asks for money for you to pay for stuff. I was trying to help others. When you got to pay those board fees, I was trying to help out. When you got to take those continuing education class, I was trying to help others. They're like, okay, well, we're not going to help you, though. Okay? So I said, well, why am I saying this and clarify? Because you need to clarify where your position is in your industry. If you're the Bugatti of your industry, be the Bugatti. Bugatti is $2.9 million for the base price. They only make 10 a year, and they never make that design again. And I happened to be going through the channels, and I didn't know what it was. It was what they call the men's channel. They keep changing that name. And even down to the nuts and bolts have their initials on it, so they know if you change anything in a Bugatti. But the other thing about a Bugatti, it doesn't depreciate, it appreciates. So who are the clients for a Bugatti? Who are those people? What'd you say?
Those who can afford it.
Okay, those who can afford it. We got some who really can't, but they still go get it for a moment. And I do mean literally a moment. But why? Who are Bugatti people? High value. What you mean by high value? They like quality. What else? See, they love status. How many of them did they make, y'all? 10 in the whole wide world. There are only 10 of them. And I gave y'all a hint when I told you some people only get it for a moment. See, they get it long enough to say they have it and that they can afford the bill to pay for it, and then they go sell it before it gets on their credit report. Y'all thought everybody you think leasing came about for? Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you a better hustle. I'm going to tell you a first-hand story. When I moved to North Carolina, I had a paid-for Corolla. Brand new. Looked good to me. I got in a car accident. Ended up having to get a Camry. I had folks that came up to me and said, oh, now you look like a lawyer. What does my car have to do with that? I had a colleague who drove a Cressida. How many of y'all even know what a Cressida is? That's way old in the Toyotas. He drove a Cressida and parked it in the parking lot, but when he went to court, he went and got his mother's two-door sports Lexus. A lady I know, and she was in Mary Magazine for New York Life. She was one of the first African-American agents. She was leasing a SUV, Mercedes SUV, and I kept saying, and she kept changing. She said, because I have to drive this to get my customers. See, getting your customers is not only knowing about them, it's also knowing about how they want you to look and how they want you to be. All of that's part of simple and understandable. Clarify. That's why Chisa had you all to say, what problem you're solving. Clarify. Now, Chisa mentioned to me about the stylist. I can look at her and say, oh, yeah, everything Chisa told me about her is on point. But if I'm coming to your shop and your hair going every which way it can, you wearing clothes that look like you just took it out the dirty clothes to put it on, and you didn't iron it, but you advertised yourself as meticulous, an image enhancer, and I'll make sure you look like the best thing out there. That's what you said on your stuff, but then I'm looking at you. You got to know and clarify, because that will get you into alignment to make sure you're in the right position. I bet you if I go to her shop's not just anywhere in town. I bet you when I go look at her shop, I bet there's certain things in place, just like she said, the type of music. I can tell by even the way how she carries herself. She's like, I'm not about to, this is not beauty shop, barber shop where you're going to come to gossip. And you should see her eyebrow when I said that. And see, I love folks like that. That was one of the hardest things I had to get used to when I moved to North Carolina here from Atlanta. When beauticians told me that the cosmetologists told me that their clients were people who were business folks. Well, what's your hours, 7 to 5? Where are most business people 7 to 5? They're working. And then if you go on the weekends, folks are like, oh yeah, I go 3 to 4 hours. I said, 3 to 4 hours? Not because they're under the dry. No, that's because that's how many people. I said, I'm used to my beautician. If I go there and somebody's there, it's like 15, 20 minutes, and then I'm in the chair. I can time myself. See, if you're talking about you want professional people time themselves. I'm sorry, I'm picking on the beauties, but those are the ones coming to my mind right now very quickly, because I talked to some folks. Folks will tell me that you can schedule an appointment online. Any business, you tell me I can schedule an appointment online, and I got to wait for you to confirm it. You're not working with me as a professional. Because, see, I need to schedule other stuff. So I'm coming online to schedule with you so that I can make sure I put everything in place. Are you online and putting yourself in the correct position? That's what if you heard the panel, they were talking about some of those different things. So then you now can learn. That's what you're getting ready to do with mentors. You need to find mentors so you can learn. I have a coach. You have to have somebody to challenge you. Because no matter how good something is, it's the little details you don't think about. A young man came, he wanted to do an app. Well, he wanted to help people. When you talked about, young lady talked about resources, he wanted to help low to moderate income folks get houses. We were like, well, how are they going to do it? He said, well, we're going to have an app and they can apply. I said, you don't understand your clients. And he thought I was being harsh. I happened to be doing a training because I do presentations, seminars, and workshops. And the other folks in there were like, well, how are they going to apply? He said, well, they can use a phone or computer. Okay, how many low to moderate people have access to the internet? And even if they have a phone, some of them have limited access to the internet. How much time is that going to take them? And many of them go to the library to use the computer. Then they're only there for 30 minutes, and you tell them to take their personal information to put it in this system that's an open place. Great idea, but he didn't understand his customers in their totality. Now I'm going to talk about one of my pet peeves, because she talked about one of hers. One of my pet peeves is everybody doing everything for children. Okay, where do the children go after they leave you? Okay, if the home environment does not help to uplift what you taught them, then that's why we have only a limited percentage of people in the communities that break through. The average person is not strong. If they all were, then everything would be done easily. So you're telling us, like this one person told me about doing something for kids. I said, okay, have you thought about the fact that in low to moderate income, the parents are working 2-3 jobs? So that child you may be looking at may have to be taking care of younger brother and sisters. And he said, yeah, we're going to have a daycare. So I said, okay, well, how about grandma, auntie, uncle? Because, you know, a lot of people in low to moderate income can't put their people in places. So the kids are actually taken care of. Did you ever think about that? Or like the young man who came to me when we had our business, and I was like, ooh, we in gang territory. I said, that's the folks symbol. People are like, what are you talking about? I said, I'm from Atlanta. That's the folks. Followers of our Lord King Satans. That's a gang. Sure enough. And the young man came to me and said, do they do high school diplomas in here? I said, no. I said, you can go. He said, no, I want a diploma. I don't want a GED. I said, well, come see me. That's not what I normally do, but I'll help you. Hadn't seen him for a while. Then I saw him again. I said, why didn't you come? He said, I had to go back to court. Well, why? I violated my parole. Why? I had a gun. Now, you know, ma'am, and I said, never mind. In the neighborhood he lives in, if he were to walk around without a gun, he would be easy target. Understanding and learning. Learning is not just about what you know, it's learning about the people you want to help and what holistically is affecting them, because all of that goes in together. Now, let me tell you a little irony. We lost touch. I started at Durham Tech. 2 years later, I'm coming out of a door. I see a young man walking. He said, ma'am, can you tell me where I can go get a high school diploma? I said, sure. It's right by my office. Come and go. Your face is familiar. And he said, I said, did you live in a corporation and years ago you wanted to get your high school diploma? He said, yes, ma'am. And he had just told me he had just gotten out of prison. So I ended up completing what I started with him. And we did not know we were going to run into each other. And I walked him to the place to get him his high school diploma. But notice that took 5.5 extra years. So learning is, you have to understand you don't know everything. And that's what mentors are for. And as Jesus said, getting several mentors, every mentor should be somebody who's different. But let me tell you who you also need to have. Mentors are good. You need to have advisors. You need to have counselors. You need to have coach. You need to have consultants. You need to have mentors. And you need to have sponsors. Advisors are ones that you can call up just to ask them about something that they're in the area. They're like a subject matter expert. It's an HR question. You can call them up. They can advise you on it. And they go along the merry way. A coach gets you to a point. Just like a coach, like the football, I'm a football fan. NFL, they coach to get to the Super Bowl. Once they're at the Super Bowl, it starts all over again. So a coach gets you to a point and leads and guides you, and a coach can see also where your strengths are and pull you up on that. A counselor actually listens to you and they can guide you. They're a guider, and they help you to get to the resources and things you need. Not saying a coach can't, but that's what a counselor does. A counselor gives you that acumen that they're a professional, what they're doing, and they sit and they listen. Not hear you, they listen to you. There's a difference. Hearing means I hear what you say. Listening means I get a perspective of understanding. I may not agree with you, but I get understanding. There's a difference between listening and hearing. Most of the time we hear, we don't listen. So a counselor will listen to you, and that's why sometimes a counselor will turn you in a different direction. Because the counselor is listening to what you said, but you may not be going in the right direction for where you say you want to go. A consultant is one that will do it. They'll do like the counselor, but they actually say, oh, this is what you need to do with the business plan. Oh, I can do it for you. I can help you write it. So not saying a counselor can't, but a consultant does more hands-on. A mentor is the one that you use as your example. They are your benchmark. They help to guide you and give you advice too, but you use them as a benchmark. I'm trying to get to where they are. They are my example of what I want to do. And sponsors are those who speak about you when you're not around. So when somebody says, oh, I'm looking for a graphic artist, oh, I know just the person you need to call. That's a sponsor. You need to have all of those. And then while we're also learning, hey, I got to give Chris and Maricela as a group that does property out of Texas, and they've gone from owning single-family units to now they're in syndications. When they send me stuff about investors, I'm like, I want to grow up to be part of y'all group. It's $50,000 as the initial investment, minimum. But they said something. How many of y'all have heard the saying, you need to be at the table? Okay? They said, don't worry about being at the table, be in the room. I don't care if you are pouring water in a glass, you need to be in the room, because you being in the room, you're still going to hear what's going on. So sometimes don't fight so much to get at the table. Fight just to get in the room so you can actually hear, so then you can know even how to get to the table, because you might not be ready for the table, or you might find out, ooh, you know what, this is not the table I thought it was, because when I heard the rest of the stuff I got to do, I don't want to do it. Learn. It's about gaining wisdom, skills, knowledge, and understanding. That's what Chisa, why do you think Chisa has you all writing? She's doing it for multiple reasons. We remember 25% of what we hear, 25% of what we write, 25% of what we see, and 25% of what we do. That's why you got to do all four of them. That's why she said, what are you going to do? So you all have seen it, you're writing it, you're hearing it, but that's only 75%. And let's go back to school days. What's the 75% grade? C. That means you're average. So any of you all talk about, I'm exceptional, I'm different. No, you're not, because if you don't do, you just like everybody else. All right. Then, after you leave here, Chisa's going to give you the charge. The last session, you're going to manifest. You're going to show the qualities you have through what you say and do. When people tell you who they are, believe them, that's not about what comes out their mouth. What their actions speak louder than words. So what they tell you about what they do and don't do, believe people. That includes your clients. I'm going to pay you, and you still call them a client. That's a customer. That's not a client. A client understands who you are, and they appreciate who you are and what you are about. All right, how much time I got? I don't know how much I got. Okay, so clarify. So this is what we're going to go through right now, which is on your sheet. What did you not know? Why did you all even come here today? What did you not know? Because there must have been some reason why you came today. So tell me why you came today. All right, now I did teach also for 7 years, so I know how to go around the room. My teachers, with my students, would tell you, I said, this is hard. So I should have told y'all, this is Harley land. I'm a nice dictator, but everybody in here can speak and give something of value. So, all right, okay.
Mm-hmm. And it took me a long time to just even start. And then I was going
So let me ask. So let me tell you one thing that Chisa mentioned earlier about people telling who you are. I follow John Maxwell. I'm also one of the trainers, but he said something that was so profound, which is how I can tell you I'm the igniting collaborator. He said, "What 1 to 3 words could you describe you and what you want to do?" See, the problem is now y'all got me going on my little tangent. The problem is we told y'all to start small, right? And you all had this vision, right? You got the vision, and we told y'all to start small. The problem is you took your vision and tried to put it in the smallness. And we in the industry did that. We in the business industry, and I say we because I'm a part of it. We did that to you all. But if any of y'all ever heard the lean startup, business model canvas, and all those different things, and how Silicon Valley exploded, this is the key to that. See, the problem is you take your vision and you start small in the vision. That's where we messed you up at. And this is why Chisa says it's not about starting at one thing and being good at it. This is what we have put in, and this is how we've described it to people. Remember I said about describing things as though it's an 8th or 3rd grader? This is how it's been described. The thing is that you start small, and then you can do many things, because if you know who you are and what you are about, it can keep going. My cousin is a realtor. She is not online and doing very well. She has no website and is doing exceptionally well. So I said to you, why are you on social media? And what are you doing in social media that may not necessarily need social media, but that's the way where someone took your vision and put you in the box of social media. Even though it might make sense because social media is exploring, for the customer base you want, it may not make sense. Do y'all know one of the reasons why you all are here today? Let's see how many of y'all know Chisa very well. Why? Even though Chisa's on social media, Chisa likes the interaction of people. Because we talked on Monday and said, you know, all this is going on. She said, I'm going to picture everything. She said, but I want to at least do this so people can come together. And look, folks came. You got to understand who your customer is. Remember, you're not running after everybody, because there may be some other folks that are looking for ways to get together and interact that's not on social media. Do y'all know how many people still use a freeconferencecall.com? As a whole lot. Because they're like, I just got to have other than T-Mobile. T-Mobile has problems with free conference call, but they're like, I just got to dial a number. I can be any age. That's what my cousin used for his church. His church was predominantly seniors, and they were on there singing and everything. He did not go online. He still hasn't gotten online yet. And let me tell you the showstopper. There were folks who have been members. This is a little church in Harleyville, South Carolina, 29 members. But him being on the phone, there were people all over the United States that started calling in for his 30 to 35-minute services. You got to know your customer base. And you always want to create a win-win-win situation. A win for your customers, a win for the community. But this is the part we always forget. Yourself. Are you getting fulfilled in what you're doing? I don't care how successful it is. If it's not fulfilling you, you're doing the right thing for the right people at the wrong time for the wrong reason. All right, that's my public service announcement for the day. But you got me there when you said that. That's why I tell you I flow by what's going on in the room, because I am listening to what you all are saying. What else? Anybody else came because they were trying to get more authentic? Go ahead.
Well, I've been following Chisa since 2019, and I know about her and how she gives it to you raw and rugged and gives you with the information that you need. And I knew that this summit right here was going to be filled with a group of people that
So what she just said was that Chisa is her mentor. Oh, yeah, I thought mentors were people you had to touch, feel, and be involved with. See, and it took a young man, almost half my age, to tell me that when he went through the entrepreneurship tour, and I took some of the students from Durham Tech, because we started an entrepreneurship club when I was on the business administration side. And I said, how do you get mentors? Because they're hard to get. You can't always get them. He said to me, is there anybody you follow? And back then, my heart of heart was Miles Monroe. Dr. Miles Monroe, the man about what's your purpose? What's your potential? Do you understand your potential? He said, that's your mentor. I have almost every book Miles Monroe did. When he went to speak, I went to go see him. I read articles of his, everything. Your mentor does not have to be somebody you touch and feel. Now I'm going to give you the flip side. Yeah, I got you. Now, you have to. One of my schoolmates, her mentors were her bosses, who were on the news every day for doing something wrong and illegal. And she stayed there a year and a half, and we were like, why are you there? And she said, well, as long as my name is not in the news, she said, I'm learning everything not to do. And you know what? That has helped her to be very successful. She does urban planning, and she's now over a town, urban planning, because she knows when contractors and everything, they start acting like her. She's like, mm-mm. So see, sometimes we have to do what people wouldn't do. So don't follow the folks. So she got mentored. Networking. Why is networking important to you? Why do you say that's something you needed to have, the networking?
To build my brand. I have an incubator for Black entrepreneurs, and in order for them to be successful in their business, they have to be a part of the network that I built.
Okay, and what else is networking good for you all for? That's a good way to learn. See, sometimes you need to know that you need to hear, because when you think you've got the answer to stuff, that's what the business model canvas and the discovery canvas lets you know. You need to listen to the customers, because what you think the customers already know and what they should have known, you find out, y'all don't know that? So use networking also as an opportunity to listen, because it's not about do you have a great idea, it's about do you have a great opportunity. Your idea can be great, but there's not the right time, because there's not an opportunity for it. Or you're so stuck on your idea that you miss the opportunity that's right there that can get you closer to where you want to go and what you want to do. But it's your idea. Let me tell you something. Your idea will not get you anywhere. You know why? Because if your customers do not value your idea, you're not going to get money for it. I don't care how great it is. There are a lot of great ideas, and you got to be careful who you ask the questions of, because a lot of people be like, oh, that's a great idea. Would you buy it? Yeah, that's a problem I have. Yeah, that's a solution, but they're looking for a solution that they're willing to pay for that's going to be profitable. You've got to worry about that. Okay, I know I'm getting close to my minutes. Tell me how many minutes I got. So, now that you've heard a lot of stuff today, tell me what you realize you don't know. And what I want you to do is, there's some Post-its on your table. If you could write down some of the stuff, if I didn't get to you, if you can write it down, because some people don't like raising their hands also. If you can write it down, if you see something on another table, do that, and I'm going to give you an email address to email me, because this is stuff to help Chisa, to help you all also in the future. Because she needs to know what you all need to make sure she's giving you all what she can give, because there are a lot of people who've been following her, and she needs to make sure she's giving it to the people. And you give it to the people what the people need, to get the people where they need to go, so they can do what they need to do, so they can be who they want to be, so they can leave the legacy that they want to leave, so they can create the creation of wealth that they want to create with the multiple revenue generations they need to do, so they can add value to people and the community that's around them. That's what it's all about. Okay? So that's what it is for giving to the people. Oh, that's my. So what is it you feel, now that you've heard quite a bit, what do you need to know? Yes, ma'am.
My prior business experience is a nonprofit, working with kids, and so now that I'm moving into the LLC side of things, I need to know how to find my client is actually going to pay me my worth, and not thinking from the nonprofit lens. If that makes sense.
So you've got multiple choices. See, the problem is we told y'all either or. That's another lie that we told y'all. It's not either or, there can be ands. Okay? So one thing you may want to look at is what's called B certified. So you ever see that B on stuff with the circle? This means that I am a force for doing good. I am a for-profit, but I have some social purpose involved with what I do. So I'm going to give you an example. Redwood Insurance Group was concerned about children and what's going involved with children. They're like, well, we can't do a nonprofit. We all insurance agents. How can we make sure that we help children? What they did is they created an insurance company where they made sure that there was insurance funding available for nonprofits that deal with kids. So that's one way. Another way said, who said you had to have one or the other? No, but understand what I mean by that. Who's to say that you can't have the LLC, that you may not create the nonprofit to provide funds or scholarships that for folks to use the LLC? When my mother was suffering from cancer, the doctor we went to, the shot that my mother did, they said this is a very expensive shot. It's almost $10,000 per shot each time. We can see whether or not you all are eligible for a scholarship. We have a grant funding that pays for it. We weren't eligible, but the point of the matter is that was something for me to learn. I learned that they have a nonprofit for those who could not afford what the for-profit was doing. See, everything doesn't mean you have to do just a nonprofit, and then you can have both. Now, if you're going to do both, you need to have two totally different and separate names, because that's a branding issue. So you do one thing under one brand and the other thing under another brand. So therefore, you can do that. Understand this also. Nonprofit does not mean poor. The wealthiest entities in the world, be it a human being or a business, have been nonprofits. The Catholic Church was the wealthiest entity in the world before they had their lawsuits. We don't know how much they have now, but they were the wealthiest. And I tell people, if you don't want to buy that one, William and Melinda Gates Foundation will be getting at least $32 billion for Warren Buffett. And do you want to know why we have breakthrough and all the treatments and all the diseases? Does anybody know why we have the breakthrough? I seen it twice on 60 Minutes. Warren Buffett went to everyone who was wealthy in the world and said, you have an obligation to do something good for the world. So they created nonprofit foundations where they are the ones paying for the research that's being done on a lot of things. That's why you have the cure for some people for the Alzheimer's and all that. And if you don't believe that, when Ebola was out, Mark Zuckerberg put millions of dollars in, and he did in that 1 year what it usually takes 10 years to do, and we wait for the government to give money because the government only has a certain set amount of money. And they had all these different people from all across the world who have created nonprofits to help pay for the research that we get done. It doesn't have to be an either or. That's what I'm trying to let you all know. There are ways it can be an and. As well as you can always do the LLC where then there are times where you do give back to the community. That's what Doctors Without Borders do. That's all these dental labs, that's dentists who come into communities and do it for free for folks. I know you with the board, so you just got to find out from the board how to keep it in alignment. But your mindset is what I'm trying to let you know. All a nonprofit says is the bottom line money stays in the organization. Nonprofits pay very well. Joyce Myers, when they kept going after her for several years with the IRS, she did get dinged for one thing. They said if you take her 500 employees in St. Louis at her ministry and look at businesses with 500 or more employees in St. Louis, they get the same pay or even more. They get the same benefits or even more. She said that people should not come to a nonprofit and have to live a lower life just to help people. Now, she got dinged for having a golden toilet in one of the executives' office. I was like, really, y'all? What else? And I've got a couple of minutes, so throw it out real quick. Anybody else? Anything else you came for? You don't have to tell me, but look at the mentors. That's what this is all about, why you need to look at the mentors. What is it you need to know? What is it you think you know? Remember, I also say sometimes it's about the clarification. What do you think you know, but you just want to make sure that you know what you know and that these folks know more about it. That's who you need to connect with. That's the alignment part of this calm. And that's what these mentors are about. You meet the mentor so you can find out what they know that you don't know. And also, you may know stuff, but you don't know, as Paul Harvey would say, but you don't know the rest of the story. They tell you the rest of the story. So learn from the different mentors and prioritize. Remember, Jesus said, based upon your goals? So often we go running after things and then we missed out on our priorities. Prioritize which one is important to you right now for where you are, for where you need to go. It doesn't mean that others are not good for you. We're not doing good to haves. We're doing necessaries. Remember, you got to stay calm. Address your issues of where you want to go and what you want to have. That will help you stay calm. And then the last session they're going to have today, Jesus is going to give you a charge of how to manifest this. That'll be the last part of the calm. So I am part of being and becoming because I want you to become equipped. That's what you're doing there, so you can become elevated. You be equipped today to become elevated, so you got to be ready today. To be ready means you got to have the equipment. If you got to get ready, you're already behind the 8 ball, because when the opportunity comes, you're waiting to get to the opportunity. The opportunity is going to go. Now, that does not mean opportunities will not come again, but the blessings and the results of that particular opportunity are gone. You are going to be looking at different results, different benefits, different blessings. So it's not saying you're not going to get blessed, but you're not going to get those same blessings. So you got to be ready, and when you are ready, then you can become what you want to become, and then you elevate up to the level where you want to be. That is this for me before I get in trouble from Chisa, and I don't want to get in trouble for Chisa. So, pleasure.
She over here. Look, I was trying to run and get to it. Okay, so her quote was so good. It was so fast. I know y'all couldn't even write that down, which is why I'm so glad that we have that recorded, because she gave so many different great things. Can y'all put your hands together for Lashon Harley? Thank you so much for listening to Give It to the People Radio. Make sure that you follow us online at ladybusiness.com, LadyBusiness. We look forward to helping you grow, sustain, and maintain your business.